Well, it's my pleasure to introduce the first panel of this afternoon. I was given this challenge, not really a challenge, but this privilege, let's say, to, after such a brilliant talk by Roger and such nice conversation we had in the beginning, I think that we'll try to keep up this great up-tempo that we had in the beginning here. Our first panel is called Challenges of Transcultural Practice in Art History. A brief summary of what this panel is about. In this panel, we will attempt to shed light on what it means to position one's work within a cultural historical framework, fed by different cultural aspects and viewpoints. The focus lies primarily on the practical side of art historical work and on presenting and positioning it within a transculturally oriented field of work. The challenge is to understand art historical work as a practice that could enhance the traditional frame of analysis and synthesis. We will propose some questions, namely, can we find possibilities to link historical content with forward-looking techniques and strategies? Can we use this to adequately shape our historical and contemporary position? And what exactly does adequate mean in this context? In this sense, I will introduce now our first panelist, Susanne Neubauer, who is researching the activity of art historian Ludwig Grote in the early São Paulo Biennales. She will reflect on the issue of practice and challenges, or rather, as she states, possibilities in this field. Susanne is a curator and art historian with a PhD in art history from Zurich University and a large repertoire of publications on Politik. She has worked as a curator for contemporary art at Kunstmuseum Luzern and curated exhibitions for institutions such as the Lentus Kunstmuseum Linz and Moderna Museum Stockholm. Currently, she heads the project Formation and Heritage of Brazilian Constructivism and Neoconcretismo in the Transcultural Context of Western German Conceptions of Modernism in the 1950s and 1960s at our Freie Universität Berlin. Next, we will have Pauline Bachmann. She will address some key aspects of the work of neo-concretists Lígia Papi and Ferreira Goulart in a transcultural perspective, leading to issues such as translation, of which we had a very nice introduction here just now, transgression and modification. Pauline studied Latin American studies, art history, and history at Freie Universität Berlin in Costa Rica and also in Mexico. Since April 2011, she's a research fellow in the research unit Transcultural Negotiations in the Ambits of Art at Freie Universität Berlin. Her current PhD project focuses on neo-concretism in Brazil with special attention to transcultural aspects. And finally, we will have the response to this panel by Dr. Susanne Klengel, our colleague also from Freie Universität's Latin American Institute, where she is professor of Latin American literature and culture. Her research fields and publication include, among many others, I must stress this, okay? 21st century literature in Hispanic American Brazil, intellectual exchange between Brazil and Germany in the 1950s and 1960s, and transatlantic intellectual history after World War II. Thank you very much. Please, Susanne.